Hello everyone, I'm Shannon Slatton in Brooklyn Park. Here's a look at today's top stories.
One of the key races facing voters in the August 11th primary is the election for Minnesota's 5th congressional district seat between Democratic incumbent Representative Ilhan Omar and her main challenger Antone Melton Mukes. Each campaign has raised more than $4 million apiece, and like any hotly contested campaign, they've exchanged negative accusations against one another. On Wednesday, they held dueling news conferences to rally their supporters and attack their opponent.
The day after George Floyd was murdered, when I was at 38th in Chicago, protesting with Nikema Levy-Armstrong and many other thousands, and I mean thousands of people in this district that were speaking their voices of frustration and anger, which were justified, Congresswoman Omar was launching her virtual book tour. That's what she was doing. She should have been here with the people, protesting, expressing the pain that we suffered, but yet she was promoting her own celebrity and brand.
That argument was a common theme among the participants of this news conference Wednesday morning, where supporters of Melton Mukes argue that Ilhan Omar's national profile as an outspoken progressive hasn't done much for the 5th congressional district.
Antone Melton Mukes defended corporations accused of mistreating workers.
On the other side, Congresswoman Omar has ads running that question the progressive credentials of Melton Mukes, citing his past of defending corporations accused of mistreating workers. At an afternoon news conference streamed on Facebook, Omar's supporters defended her national profile. And despite some of the negative ads running out there, Omar says she's trying to stay above the fray.
What I hear on the doors is people who say how atrocious it is that people spend so much energy in mudslinging. How can somebody run on a campaign to end the divisiveness and bring so much division, so much hate into Minnesota's 5th? So our job really has been to stay above the fray, to try to do the work on behalf of the people, and to go about bringing our district together to collectively fight for the right things.
Meanwhile, the Minneapolis Star-Tribune reports that the Minnesota DFL charged Melton Mukes with violating federal election laws by hiding the identity of some of his top political consultants listed as limited liability corporations. Melton Mukes called the charge false and said it was a desperate attempt by the DFL to resurrect Omar's campaign, which he says is, quote, falling apart. DELANE, Cleveland, CCX News.
How was everything today, guys?
Nancy Webb has a knack for taking care of people.
Love to.
Especially at her Golden Valley restaurant, Good Day Cafe.
I care very much. We're like a family here. So the employees, the staff, and our guests are like family.
So when news broke about COVID-19, Webb didn't hesitate to install an air purification system called needle bipolar ionization.
For me, I call it my little virus zapper.
The device connects onto the HVAC system and is supposed to kill 99% of pathogens.
So this is how it works. The device will generate naturally occurring ions through a building's ventilating system. The ions will then seek and attach to particles, pathogens, and gases.
Once it's attached, the charged ions steal away hydrogen from the pathogens, reducing the infectiousness of the virus.
And the ionization cleans itself, so there is no maintenance, which is, so then we know it's always doing what it's supposed to without people cleaning filters or anything like that.
Since the global pandemic, air purifying devices have been a common installation for corporations and businesses, including Bassett Creek Dental in Golden Valley.
I think a lot of patients will see this in their medical setting because it's all about filtering the air to remove any virus or bacteria particles in the air.
Dr. STEELE says there's 3 air filters in the office.
It filters 99.97% of all particles to 0.3 microns. So that's a pretty small particle.
But the air purifying systems don't exempt sanitizing and cleaning. Webb says instead it's just the extra cherry on the top.
I feel like I'm providing the safest environment that I can.
In Golden Valley, Pafua Yang, CCX News.
In the Twin Cities, one of the popular spots for tasty vegetables and Minnesota melons. is smack dab in the middle of suburbia.
Everything is grown locally here.
Despite the concrete jungle around him, Bert Bouwman's 170-acre farm in Brooklyn Park is thriving.
We enjoy this location. We like the amount of customers that we can reach in this location, yes.
On a typical summer day, a steady stream of cars and trucks park at Bouwman's roadside stand. They are hungry to get farm-to-table food.
I think that's one of the things I like about it is I can just hop off and back on.
It's the best selection. The price is great. You want to support your local farmers, and like I say, it's delicious.
I believe people want to have something local and come straight to the farmer. They don't have to go into a building. It's outdoors, so the risk is minimal, and they get the freshest produce they can ever expect.
There are plenty of choices at Bouwman's farm, including watermelons, muskmelons, and a new treat.
It's called Crispy Pear, extremely sweet. It's something that we are excited about. It's a smaller melon.
Veggie lovers flock to the roadside stand too, looking for green beans, potatoes, tomatoes, and of course, sweet corn.
It's delicious.
Which is one of Bouwman's staples.
We are known for the gourmet white sweet corn. It's all white. It's non-GMO, which is very important. We are as close to being naturally grown here.
Everyone knows in this area to come here for sweet corn.
One thing is certain about Bert Bouwman's farm. If he grows it, they will come. In Brooklyn Park, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
The State High School League announced plans for fall sports this week due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Football will not take place this fall, but instead in the spring of 2021.
For us, we talked with the players. I mean, the information wasn't that your season's over, right? The information is that you get to play. It's just a little bit later.
It's a mixture of disappointment but realism for Osseo football coach Ryan Stockhaus. Tuesday's news that Minnesota high school football will be pushed to the spring of 2021 due to COVID-19 was a hot topic.
It's been mixed emotions on a lot of levels. I think there's a lot of relief that there's just been a decision made. A lot of parents, players, teachers, everybody has just been looking for answers, and there hasn't been a whole lot of them, and that's understandable. The situation has just put everything in a very interesting spot.
The players have been on the field for summer workouts and thought the real thing would start soon, but that's on hold. There are still a lot of questions about logistics. The Orioles for now will finish out this week of summer training and then go from there.
Yeah, so we're going to finish this week. This is part of our just summer camp, so our 11 practices that we're allowed to do. I think the summer's gone really well for us. We've been safe, taking some time off in between the practices to make sure if in case anything were to arise, we have time built in to allow that to play out. When this is done, we'll give the guys a break for a while. I think we're waiting to hear back from the State High School League if they're going to allow and how much they'll allow with fall practices.
One of the top distance runners from a local high school is taking the next step in his career. Jason Melillo has more.
Former Hopkins High School middle distance runner Joe Klecker is taking the next step in his running career.
Running is the full-time gig.
After starring at the University of Colorado for the last 4 years, Klecker is turning pro. He's now sponsored by On Running, a Swiss running shoe and apparel company that's starting a new team in Boulder called the On Athletics Club. Klecker is the Boulder team's first signee, and the sponsorship will allow him to train full-time while running on the professional circuit.
They gave me a lot of kind of say on where we'd be located, who the coach would be, and so I really liked that my voice is being heard from them. And then also On is just like from the beginning just seemed so athlete focused. They very much want to use our group to be very instrumental in their product development and develop like spikes and racing shoes. And so just a company that, they're totally going to listen to like our input on product was really cool. And that's kind of the beauty of a little bit smaller company, I think, where with some of the bigger shoe companies, they have such a process of developing footwear that the athletes just don't have as much of a say in that. And so that was really, for On, that was really cool, like, to be a part of.
Klecker was a state champion runner at Hopkins, and as a redshirt senior at Colorado, he won the Pac-12 cross-country championship. He was also impressive on the track with 3 top 3 finishes at the NCAA Indoor Championships in 2019. Klecker believes he's now ready for the professional level.
I would say the biggest thing is just learning to stay really consistent. I think with running especially, one season just builds on another, and learning to just stay consistent season after season, you're just going to continue to improve. And so that's probably the biggest thing I learned coming to Colorado, learning, from my coaches, them basically saying, like, it doesn't really matter what you do, like, this week, because if you train so hard this week that you can't train for the next 2 or 3 weeks, then you've kind of ruined the process of that gradual improvement over time.
The plan right now is for Klecker to make his pro debut, along with his OAC teammates, at the Music City Distance Carnival on August 15th in Nashville, Tennessee. Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
For more sports stories, visit our website, ccxmedia.org.